Sarah Mitchell had everything she wanted: peace, silence, and a cabin 40 miles from the nearest town. But on the night of November 14th, that peace would be shattered forever. At 3:17 in the morning, a sound woke her up. She thought it was just a branch hitting the deck, but when the motion lights turned on, her blood ran cold. A male mountain lion, 203 pounds of pure muscle, 3-inch claws, but he wasn't hunting. When Sarah looked at his claws, she saw something that defied all logic of nature, something that made her dial 911 before even thinking about her own safety. But what was that predator carrying? To understand this impossible moment, we need to go back 72 hours, when it all started with a strange noise coming from the forest and a behavior that forest rangers had never seen before. Sarah Mitchell, 43, a writer. She'd moved to the Colorado Rockies 2 years earlier, seeking inspiration and solitude. The region was home to one of the largest mountain lion populations in North America. But Sarah wasn't afraid. She respected nature, and nature, apparently, respected her back. For the first 18 months, no incidents. But in November 2023, something changed. The security cameras started picking up strange movements. Sarah didn't notice at first, but someone or something was watching. 2 days before the incident, the cameras recorded 7 different sightings, always the same animal, always at night, always getting closer. Sarah started noticing the signs: deep scratches on the posts, destroyed feeders, and something more disturbing. The other animals were disappearing. No deer, no rabbits. It was as if the entire forest was running from something. But when Sarah zoomed in on one of the images, she saw something that made her uneasy. That animal was injured, and somehow it seemed to be asking for help. What Sarah didn't know was that for 3 weeks, illegal poachers had been setting traps throughout the national forest. Brutal leg-hold traps designed for bears. Park rangers had confiscated 17 traps, but they estimated dozens more were still out there, hidden in the undergrowth, waiting. That night, Sarah went to bed thinking about those traps, thinking about the injured animals suffering in the darkness. She had no idea that one of those animals was about to choose her, specifically her. November 14th, Sarah's last normal evening. She made chamomile tea, answered some emails, and watched the sun disappear behind the mountains. At 8:15, she was completely unaware that she was being watched. From the tree line, barely 60 feet away, a pair of eyes had been fixed on her window for over an hour. At 11:47 p.m., the animal made its decision. Dragging a 4-pound steel trap clamped to its right front leg, it began moving toward the house. For the next 6 minutes, every movement was captured on camera. The animal wasn't stalking, it wasn't hunting. Every step seemed calculated, almost purposeful. At 12:03 a.m., it reached the deck. The trap had been on its leg for at least 2 days. The pain must have been excruciating, but it kept moving. And then it did something that wildlife experts would later call unprecedented. The sound that woke Sarah wasn't violent. It was rhythmic, deliberate, almost like knocking. Every instinct told her to stay in bed, to call for help, to hide, but something else, curiosity maybe, compassion, made her get up. When she turned on the lights, what she saw would haunt her for the rest of her life, not because it was terrifying, but because of what she saw in those eyes. Sarah had seen mountain lions before, in documentaries, at a distance in the wild, but she'd never seen this. This wasn't aggression, this wasn't predatory behavior. The trap had been on for so long that the leg was swollen to twice its normal size. Infection had set in. Without help, the animal had maybe 48 hours before sepsis would kill it. And somehow, impossibly, this apex predator had traveled miles through the forest, past dozens of other houses, to find her, the woman who left water out, who never hunted, who the forest seemed to trust. Sarah had a choice. Lock the doors, hide in the bedroom, let nature take its course. That's what anyone would do. That's the safe thing. But she didn't think about safety. She thought about pain, about suffering, about an animal desperate enough to approach its only natural enemy for help. The 911 dispatcher would later tell reporters she'd never heard someone sound so certain about something so impossible. And then the animal did something that made Sarah's hands shake so badly she almost dropped the phone. For 17 minutes, they waited together, predator and prey, separated by a quarter-inch of glass. The animal could have left at any moment, but it stayed. Sarah would later tell reporters that she talked to it, told it help was coming, told it everything would be okay. And whether the animal understood or not, it seemed to listen. When the trucks arrived, Colorado Parks and Wildlife with specialized mountain lion rescue equipment, Sarah expected the animal to bolt into the forest. Instead, it did something that made the veteran rangers stop in their tracks. Ranger Mike Patterson had been doing this job for 23 years. He'd handled hundreds of mountain lion situations, dangerous encounters, attacks, relocations, but never this. He would later write in his official report, quote, "The animal showed zero aggression. It had traveled an estimated 4.7 miles with a severe leg injury to reach this specific residence. Behavior is inconsistent with all known mountain lion protocols." The sedative took effect within 90 seconds. As the animal's eyes closed, Sarah swore she saw something impossible, something that scientists would dismiss, but she would never forget. The trap had crushed 2 bones and caused severe tissue damage. Dr. Elena Rodriguez, the state's leading wildlife vet, said without intervention, the animal would have died within days from infection or starvation. The surgery took 4 hours. Recovery took 6 weeks. In that time, Sarah visited 11 times. The animal, now designated as PM47 in official records, always recognized her. And then came the moment everyone was waiting for, the release. December 28, 2023, 6 weeks after that impossible night. The animal had gained back 15 pounds. The leg had healed completely. It was time to go home. Wildlife protocols are strict. No interaction, no prolonged contact. The animal needed to return to being wild. But nature doesn't always follow protocols. What happened in those 3 seconds has been analyzed by animal behaviorists, biologists, and skeptics. The footage is clear. The animal recognized her, acknowledged her. And then it did what wild things do. It disappeared into the trees, leaving only tracks in the snow and a story that would change how people think about these animals forever. Sarah never saw PM47 again, but the GPS collar the rangers attached showed something extraordinary. That animal's territory now includes a 3-mile radius around her cabin, close enough to know she's there, far enough to remain wild. Scientists call it coincidence, territorial overlap, normal wildlife behavior, but Sarah knows better. So do the rangers who were there that night. So does anyone who's looked into the eyes of a wild animal and seen something looking back. Nature has mysteries we're not meant to solve, only witness, and sometimes, if we're very lucky, be part of. 3 weeks after PM47's release, rangers were conducting routine trail camera checks in the area. What they found answered one question, but raised a dozen more. PM47 wasn't just fighting to survive, she was fighting for 2. The den site was located exactly 1.2 miles from Sarah's cabin, and what rangers discovered inside that den would explain everything about that night. When rangers reached that den the next day, what they found inside wasn't just cubs, there was something else. Something that had no business being in a mountain lion's den. Something that connected directly to Sarah and to a missing persons case from 15 years ago. The footage was classified for 6 months, but it's finally been released, and what it reveals will make you question everything you think you know about these animals. Click here to see what was hidden in PM47's den.